Along America's Great Loop, we've been super fortunate to meet all different types of people, different cruisers, all either doing the Great Loop or just on the same waterways.
Andy and Gwen are two of our very good friends, but we initially met them when we were dragging anchor in South Carolina, and they very kindly and graciously came to the beach that we were dinghied at and told us that our boat was dragging anchor.
Since then, we met up in Georgetown, and then we've had a lot of really fun experiences with them, including right now we're heading southbound together on the ICW. And Andy and Gwen are ICW experts. They've traveled up the ICW in the eastern coast of the US from Florida to Maine. This is their third time. They've traveled the whole way twice, and now they're on their third time, all in a sailboat. So basically they've done about 40% of the Great Loop. Let's go ahead and introduce them.
We're Andy and Gwen from Abroad Reach Travel.
And this is our Tartan 37 Acadia.
Come on in.
The best welcoming squad you could hope for.
Acadia is our full-time home. We've had her for about 6 weeks. We have been living full-time on a boat for the last year and a half, but it has been a significantly smaller one. So this is a lot more space than we were used to, and we absolutely love it. First up is our galley, and it is a full galley. We have an oven and a stove. We've got a freezer and a fridge, and a second freezer as well. We are headed to the Bahamas this winter, so having extra freezer space is a big positive. We have so much storage on this boat, it's crazy. And then over here we have our nav station, which operates as my desk primarily for working on videos and that kind of thing. And then we also have a quarter berth area that's convertible to a double for guests if they wanted to come join us. This is our main salon area. Both of these convert into berths as well, so we could sleep up to 6 relatively comfortably. This all storage over here. We've got a nice table that actually folds up so that we can have like tons of space when we have people over for dinner. And then we have a whole bunch of storage over here, which is just a mess. So I'm moving back. We have one head on board. It is relatively small, but it is big enough to shower in, which is a huge positive. It's a toilet. That's all there is. We have a very spacious V-berth. At the top, it's almost a little bit bigger than a king-size bed, but at the bottom, it's about the size of a twin. So it's pretty cozy up here, though, which we love. And we have all of our clothing storage is in this area here, and we have a ton of storage under the bed as well that we use for sails and all kinds of other stuff.
Alright, so when did you guys start boating?
Well, it's 2 different answers for us, right?
You go first.
I started boating on our last boat when I was 6 months old. And I started driving it, steering it around when I was 9.
So a very young age.
Very young age. As young as you can get.
That sounds very accurate. Yeah. And I started boating probably around the same time. I was really young as well. My grandparents had a boat that we spent most of our summers on. So they had a power boat though. So I didn't start sailing until I met Andy in college.
I brought you over to the light side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sailing's so much better. But I think our like full-time boating we started in May of 2020.
What do you guys like best about full-time cruising?
I think it's the destinations, right? All the places we get to see that we would normally like skip over. Particularly in the ICW, it was all the destinations we like normally wouldn't give a second glance or like wouldn't make a trip to go see, right?
Yeah. Like a lot of those like little small towns and just kind of getting, I think it's really nice because you can travel at a much slower pace and you really set your pace. Like there's no real itinerary. You get to travel a lot more like a local on a boat because you get to like set your pace and you can stay in a place for a lot longer and it doesn't up your cost any like it would if you were traveling otherwise. And I think that that's a huge plus for us because if we really like somewhere, we can just keep the anchor there for an extra couple days and there's no additional cost for us to do that. So that's huge for sure.
And sailing's not bad either.
Yeah, good sailing days are definitely great.
What's your favorite destination that you guys have been to so far via boat?
I'd say Maine is probably our favorite destination we've been to. Probably Stonington or... What was the island off of Stonington?
Swans Island.
Swans Island.
Swans Island's a really nice stop in Maine, yeah.
Was there we went bicycling and almost killed ourselves?
No. That was Idaho.
Idaho?
Yeah.
I like that one.
Adventure. I think,
Adventure.
Yeah. I think that Maine is definitely high, but I think Maine holds a special place in our heart to begin with because, like, I grew up there and that's where we first started sailing together and where we met and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's hard to kind of beat that. Beyond that, I'm trying to think. Where else have we really loved? That's like outside of home.
West Coast, some of the beaches on the west coast of Florida.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Caladesi State Park in Florida is probably really, really high up there for me. It was probably the nicest beach I've ever been on, and we got stuck there basically during a gale, and we had it all to ourselves, which was awesome.
What is one piece of advice that you would give someone who is traveling the ICW? As you guys well know, our audience is not only boaters, they're kind of more specifically Great Loopers, and a huge part of the Great Loop is the ICW. So kind of focusing on your experience along that, what would you like recommend? One piece of advice each.
Not to plan too far ahead. Like plan like a couple days ahead at most. Like if you sit down and you plan the entire trip through, you're gonna have like one weather day and it's gonna mess up your entire trip and you're gonna be trying to rush to make up it. So look at the weather, plan a couple days ahead, and just kind of partially wing it.
Yeah, I think that the weather forecasts really aren't any good more than 3 days out. Like you can get a general idea, but that's about it. But I think I'm trying to think what would my piece of advice be.
Don't worry about the tides.
Don't worry about the tides. There are places you definitely have to worry about the tides.
Don't worry about the current.
No, you don't worry about. You also have their spots you have to worry about the current. Obviously, Andy's not the one who does our planning.
Little mud with the dredge.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta send it. You just gotta...
Yeah. Just send it.
You guys notice, like, how every single sailboat, like, after you guys, the guys called out, "Stay close to me."
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. I think my biggest piece of advice would be to make sure you're taking enough rest time because it's so easy to get caught up in like the getting from point A to point B that you like travel too much and too fast and you just like it gets exhausting. Like I think we're all kind of in that right now where we're tired but we had a very clear goal in mind. So I think that it's important to give yourself enough leeway that you're not just running yourself ragged.
Yeah. It's a good piece of advice.
Yeah.
Like
those trips where someone asks like, "Hey, I got 10 days to make it from Florida to Norfolk." This is not going to end well.
800 miles.
800 miles in 10 days. It's like,
No way.
like, is this a trip or is this a delivery?
Do you go 25 knots? Okay, go outside.
Yeah.
The trip or a delivery? I like that.
Yeah.
You see it as a trip, not a delivery. So.
Yeah.
Last question. Where is one destination or stop that someone doing the ICW should not miss?
Caladesi, Annapolis.
Oh yeah. St. Augustine.
St. Augustine.
St. Augustine's really nice. Beaufort, South Carolina, definitely is another one too. So, the food in both those places is really good. I think
Very valid.
there's a lot of history in both places, a lot of really interesting history. Like Beaufort has a lot of like Reconstruction era history for Civil War. So if you're really interested in the Civil War, Beaufort has so much to offer there. St. Augustine is like the oldest city in America, so it has a ton of history, and the fort's really cool, and just the architecture is really cool. It just has a cool vibe, and near Christmas time the lights are awesome, so that's cool too. I think some of our favorite stops have been on the west coast of Florida so far.
It's like Caladesi, and then what's it, Pelican?
Caladesi, Pelican Bay, which is on Costa, and then Tarpon Springs is really cool. It's like being in Greece. Like you don't even like, you'd never know unless you looked at all the pickup trucks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Those would be our top 5 or 6.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I like it.
Well, we know this is your guys' last dock before you head to the Bahamas, sailing to the Bahamas for the first time. But where can people find you if they want to watch more of your guys' stuff? Which you definitely should. Absolutely.
We're in all the usual places, Instagram and Facebook, and of course YouTube at A Broad Reach Travel. Anything you want to...
We've really enjoyed buddy boating.
Oh, really?
Yes.
We really enjoyed our
So
trip.
fun.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
We have really enjoyed this.
Oh,
It's
thanks.
been so nice to have people to share it with, so...
Yeah.
Thanks, guys!
Thanks for letting us buddy boat with you guys.
It has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has been so much fun.
I guarantee you we would not have made it here. We'd still be at anchor in where's that?
South
No,
Carolina.
we'd be at anchor in Brighton Beach. Sitting there like, what am can't go out of gear. Going in circles.
Oh
It's been a usual trip full of like breakdowns and
Yeah.
fixing stuff.
And grounding.
Groundings.
Yeah, we've all had our...
Yeah, you guys have the title of freaking frack right now.
We do.
I knock on wood, but...
It is currently firmly in our hands.
6,000 miles of cruising and we run around for the first time. Twice in one day.
But granted, though, it was low tide in Georgia, so...
Yeah,
It wasn't
I
a big
mean-
deal.
And we didn't go 6,000 miles without running aground. We just did ICW. We did like 2,700 miles of the ICW without running aground. We have run aground in the
That's
last
true,
2
that's true,
years
yeah.
on several occasions, just not in the ICW.
Yeah, it's true. I did run aground, scrape my fresh new bottom paint right off the bottom of the boat.
Yep, right out of the boatyard. And
Boatyard. 2 miles later.
Classy.
yep.
Thanks for watching.
Now we're gonna play some Settlers of Catan for 5 hours.
It's going down!
Elliot's going down.
Yeah.
Elliot's not allowed to win. It's 3 against 1 tonight.
If I get a 3-peat, I don't know what to say.